Yes, well, cool. First of all, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Dash. I want to give double honor to the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom Adeh, to the whole full execution truth in all sincerity. Right, we got some brothers together, Sabbath, Sunday not too long ago. And, today I want to talk about duty in this truth. It's just something I've been noticing, on the different brothers' pages and stuff like that, that we're kind of exhausted. Yeah. We're kind of exhausted, man. And the levels are really, the levels are dropping a little bit from what I've seen on certain videos, certain other channels and stuff like that. And, I just want to do a video to remind brothers, what it is that we're expected to do, right? And not to fall behind. I know man's are tired. I know we're frustrated. I know we've got shit going on in our lives, ailments and work problems, family life problems, all these types of things. But we need to really focus on, doing the job that was given to us. All right. And
sure. This is 1 Peter 5:8. To be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right, saying to smell blood in certain brothers right now. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Brothers are, certain brothers are looking a bit weak, and there's a standard level that we need to, at least be attaining, in a work ethic, man, in an output in feeding the sheep, because that is primarily the task we've been given to do, is feed the sheep. Okay, we're not just, simple, oh, you just came in the camp, there's no expectation on you. You just come in the camp. You read and you always lines, posts and all that kind of stuff. There's not much expectation. Okay, but I speak for our camp here in the UK, brothers have known each other for a long time. Most brothers have been in here for quite a few years now. And so there's a level of expectation that's expected, a level of work that's expected. And like I said, we all go for our dips. We're not firing on all cylinders, but we need to do our best to keep that fire alight, man, because, the wind is strong out here. Satan's out here. The Prince of Power of the Air is out here. And like the big bad wolf, he's trying to blow those lights out. And, like I said, because I've seen certain things in certain channels and stuff like that, certain brothers is on the edge, I would say. And so you need to kind of like, get in that mindset, right? That you're here to do a job. Okay, we're always meant to do a job here, right? And that's to feed the sheep of Yahushua.
Reset. This is John. I'm going to read it in NLT as well. Chapter 9, verse 4. And it reads, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. And in the NLT it says we must quickly carry out the task assigned to us by the one who sent us.
Right, so we need to move with some kind of urgency. I know when you first come in the truth, man, you're still on fire, so you just do videos left, right, and center, right? And as time goes on, years go by, you become a bit comfortable, become a bit complacent sometimes. I mean, not speaking about all brothers, obviously, but some brothers, and they get complacent. Even they feel like, so I have someone else to, if we go brothers doing videos, I'm not in the zone right now, I can't really do it. Because we all come up with these excuses for ourselves why we can't do something. Because the spirit is all kind of jacked up, because of being in this place. But they are just that, they are excuses. We have to find the time. We have to find the time to do the ministry. And everybody's got their talents, everyone's got their lots, right? So it's not going to be the same for everybody. We have to understand this. But there should be a minimum standard that we hold ourselves to, man. Because if brothers doing one video a month or 2 videos a month, right? That's, to me, that's simply not enough. It's cheaper starving out here. Cheaper starving out here, man. That's too long to be using that little food. And like I said, we're getting closer to the end, man. And I feel like, brothers have got to be on it. Brothers have got to be on it, man.
And I get this one to jump on this. Revelation 2:4 says, nevertheless, I am somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. I'll just speak to one of the churches, this message to Ephesus. Right, one of the churches in 7 churches in Asia Minor, the Golden Candlesticks, based in Yemen. Point reason I brought it out, we can't forget our first love, which is true.
And I say it's easy, you know, to get caught up in shit that's going on in your life, work, whatever. You know, it's easy because it's a stress. Brothers are stressed, brothers is tired, right? But these are the exact things that Satan is attacking us with. It's not by accident. You're not catching hell by accident. You know what I mean? You're being grinded down on purpose, and we have to be aware of that, right? That Satan is actively attacking you, trying to, you know, mess up your salvation, right? So it's not just simple faith. Oh yeah, the thing I'm dealing with. Yeah, of course you're dealing with that. Satan is coming at you, man. He's making you too tired, making you distracted, taking your mind off, you know, things that you should be doing. You know, and that's it. If your productivity is going down, 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 Satan is winning that fight with you, right? And you know, I said you're on one video a month type brother. It's like, bro, you ain't far from getting knocked out. You ain't. You know, you feel like, oh, it's all right to sit a month and not do nothing. Bro, it's not the time for that.
You said?
You know? So,
Luke chapter 22 and verse 31, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan had desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
right. So don't just chalk these things up, oh yeah, what shit going on. These demons are actively at work. As they distracting you from things. You know, taking up your time, taking up your energy. Right? What does Satan want? Or what does Satan not want? He doesn't want you to push the truth.
Yeah.
He don't want you to push the truth. He don't want you to be saved. Right? So he's doing whatever he can, whatever things he can throw at you to slow you down. Right? To make you basically fall out. You know, so you have to be very careful because you're running on low fumes right now. You ain't really doing too much, man. Like I said, I don't know how much time you got left. Right? Someone's gonna kick your ass, man. You know? Someone's gonna help, you know, get you in the spirit. Right? You gotta figure a way to do that. You know, and that's why the brotherhood's here. You deal with other brothers and that. Like, every man has to seek his own salvation. Everyone knows you can't get salvation on somebody else's work, but brothers can help. Brothers can help you out, man. You want to link up with brothers more often, just to kind of force you to do it. You know, because sometimes you don't want to do shit, man. You know, we'll get it. I'm getting old. I just want to fucking chill. You know what I mean? But sometimes you got to force yourself to do it. Right? If you can't force yourself, man, get someone around you that will force you. If you really care about this truth, man, if you really want to be in this. You know?
Hebrews 6 and 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shown to his name, in that ye have ministered to saints and you minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. You know, so yeah, man, you know, this faith is a labor of love. You know, and at the end of it, you know, when the Lord comes back, that's when we're gonna meet, you know, get our payment. You know what I mean?
That's right. But what could also say, the Lord is find you doing.
Yeah, doing
Right? Because the scripture explains the things that we experience.
Yeah.
We get lazy. Some brothers don't want to feel like they don't have to do nothing. You know, whether you're rank or no rank, it don't really fucking matter. You know, but let's say some brothers get complacent, man. You know, don't worry, it's not next week, the Lord's not coming this week. I'll do my video next week. You know? But you don't bank on them things there. But none of us know. You know, so you gotta be doing when the Lord comes, man. You gotta have show some kind of record that you're going in. Right? Like I said, everyone's got the different loss, so everyone's gonna produce the different, you know, amounts or whatever, you know, according to the talents. But to not be doing anything, well, you're the guy with the one talent then. That just hit it and didn't really do nothing with it. But you knew what was at stake, and you said, and still you did nothing anyway. You know, and what happened to him? The Lord was displeased, took what he had away from him. Basically, the truth was no longer with the dude, man. He took you out. You know, you lost everything then.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. I know thy works, for thou art neither cold nor hot. Or would thou were cold or hot? So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Right? And so this is the spirit we need to avoid. Like, you know, and I've spoken to brothers in the past, certain brothers or whatever, and it's just it's a rut. It's a you know, a place they find in a sunken place. They just find themselves in that place and they find it hard to get out. You know, and these things have been on my mind recently. So, you know, hey, we've got to do what we can to help brothers out. You know, to get them out of that and to raise their levels up. You know, but it's easy enough, you know, to think, oh, I've got my own shit to deal with. I can't deal with, you know, this brother's stuff as well. You know, but we're our brother's keepers. So if we see something and the brother's, he ain't performing like he should be, but, you know, you have to take the time, man. You know, if you care about your brother, you should be taking the time. You know, if he's acting dumb and you know, I ain't fucking gotta do shit, then that's a different, he's what's causing it. But, you know, brothers have to be aware that, you know, hey, some brothers need help. Some brothers need help, man. Because no matter how many times you speak to them, it's like something like it's just Satan's there. Satan is doing something to prevent them from leveling up. You know? What more?
I got another scripture, mate.
Yeah.
I've got very good as well.
You have one as well?
Yeah, I've got one. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set upon a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
But there's some guys that don't want to, you know, don't want to do the videos. Don't want to be seen. You know, and I know, you know, brothers are gonna say, oh, I just don't know what to, you know, what to do video on, and I'm just tired, or, you know, the day with some ailment. Like, I mean, there's things where you could say, you know, oh yeah, brother's dealing with that issue. You know, he's got this, you know, particular type of element. It prevents you from doing certain things. He just wiped out all the damn time. Right, cool. That's fair enough, isn't it? Right? Okay, we're not gonna be too mad about that. But you know, there's elements, brothers. We've all got elements. Everybody's got elements, man. You know, there's elements where, like, yes, it's a thorn in your side, but guess what? Paul still worked.
Yeah.
Paul still went out and did what he had to do, regardless of the thorn in his side. Right. So there is that level to it, but so you go push. You go push anyway. Right. I know brothers that got, you know, well, I would say quite severe ailments, and they're still doing work. You see what I'm saying? There's examples of that within the brotherhood that you can look to and look at. I shouldn't even be acting like this. My man's doing more than me, or he's more in the spirit than I am, and he's going through some worse shit than I am. You know, not to do all the comparing stuff, but you have to kind of look at it like that sometimes before you start making excuses for yourself. Because again, it's just Satan telling you that you can't do this. You know, because of X, Y, and Z reason. Okay, but it's bullshit at the end of the day, man.
But I'm saying, bro, it goes back to the fear of the Lord as well. The fear of the Lord will persuade men.
That's right.
If you're not doing the work, if you're not motivated to do the work, you lack faith. And you don't fear your other shine. So if you really believe the Lord is coming back and he's gonna, you know, take down Esau, Edom, he's gonna establish his kingdom, you're gonna be motivated to do the work. You're gonna be motivated to feed the sheep. Of course, we all get weak. We all got different portions of the spirit. But with the portion of the spirit that the Lord's given you, make use of it, man.
Yeah.
You know? Go into the basics. That's why sometimes the Elder Apostle Weinberg says, the Elder Apostle as well, hit the button. Don't even think of a lesson. Just press record and let the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai take over. Sometimes that's the only way I'll be able to do videos. If I sit and I'll just procrastinate for 2 hours to go by.
Analysis, paralysis. You know, and this is the thing.
Then you pick up the phone.
Before
you know it, scroll.
You just lost in the source again. Oh, damn.
You just end up getting tired and sleeping.
Yeah.
But you could have done a video. Start with Deuteronomy 28:68. Just work and flow from there.
But this is, I always say, man, I know, I speak for myself, I don't know if this is happening for everybody, but I feel like there's something going on in the spirit that feels getting grinded down, you know, into nothing. That's pretty much, man. And they're just tired all the time. I can't do certain things, right? They're not doing certain things. Like reading, right? I don't read enough. I'm not going to speak for the rest of the brothers here, but you know, reading
Same, man.
I think it's just a thing that's going on in the spirit, man. The Satan's, you know, preventing it. But like, you just pick up any book, any chapter, any verse, you're going to be inspired. You read a couple of verses, you'll be inspired by something, and you want to talk about it. You know, it won't take long, but it's just like something. Satan is preventing you from even getting that far.
Wearing the saints.
And
Yeah, this is Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the divided time.
Right, so let's say we get it, but again, it's all prophesied. And this makes you should be aware that means you've got to fight. Right? Because you know these things are going to come on you like this. Right? It's not, it shouldn't be just, well, you know, it's because how I am right now. You're in a fight. Okay, that you're currently not aware that you're losing. And you just think, oh, it's just something that's happening right now. But no, like I said, you know, spiritual wickedness in high places is working against you.
Accuse of our brethren.
Yeah.
I got something.
Okay,
On the point as well. 1 Corinthians 9:24 says, "Know ye not the they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to attain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway."
Because what does this all mean? Like, if you're spending all your energy being used up by the world, the things you have to entertain in the world, things you've got to do, go work and whatever, if that's taking all your energy, does that sound like to you that that's the balance of things? You know, when we're supposed to be putting, you know, energy towards this work. But if you can't produce anything, you're like an unfruitful tree. The Lord just cursed it. You know, and it withered away. And that's how I feel, you know, when I'm watching certain channels now. I feel like cerebrals is withering. You know, and so you know, they've got to do something. We've got to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're finding that that's all your energy being taken away by the world because you already engaged it more than you should be, then you've got to do something about that, man. Right? Because we're here to do what work? Primarily. The Lord's work. You know?
What precept?
Uh-huh.
Jude chapter 1 and 3. Beloved,
Hold
beloved, when I gave all diligence,
Actually, send it to
it says, beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. So the point I wanted to focus on is earnestly contend for the faith, because it's a fight. And it's spiritual that this topic is going on, because I was actually thinking along the lines of that this week of like, you're at war with you. And you know that nigga that you battle, all right, which is the flesh, that just wants to chill, you know, play FIFA,
chicken.
Make a chicken donut burger. You know, David, 6:30 in the morning, this brother eating a nigga. But point is, I was actually thinking about it because, you know, this week, because I've watching a lot of like, videos on discipline, stoicism, and all that. And it's just, I was really meditating on the fact that, yo, you got to fight you. Like the man in the mirror, because everyone knows their weaknesses. We all know our weaknesses. We've got faults. Yeah. And you can't, like, bargain with your weaknesses. You got to fight that nigga, bro. Like, you got, and you know what? It makes me think about, in righteousness, Jacob, and he was wrestling, the angel. He's like, I'm getting blessed. So I don't know if you want to go, but I ain't letting go. I'm saying, I'm not letting go until you bless me. And then the angel was like, charge it, all right. Cool, man. What's your name? Jacob. All right, well, no more Jacob. The Prince of Power you should be. And that's how we have to be with ourselves, man. Like, because it's hard. Because look, man, for me, that what's that phrase you use when you overthink?
Procrastinate.
No, that's it. I get that like a lot. I'll be like, it's not perfect enough, and then you tell them the camera, man, it's a great video, man. You know, but
but someone's going to be edified by this.
Yeah.
Like, you might not think that it's deep enough.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll speak to brother earlier, man. My brain's frying, bro. My memory's going. You know, I can't process things like how I used to process things anymore. I'm not even old, bro. It's just, I feel that the war is destroying brothers, man.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of screwed now. You know, from young, innit? We're kind of screwed now. But like, I don't focus on doing deep things anymore, like going through to deep topics. I just don't have the mind power for it. And it's going to take up a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? But that makes me less productive. You know, there's something more simple that I can do that can be edifying, that can feed somebody. You know, there's other brothers out there that can go through the deep stuff. I'll let them handle that.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to know, they can ask me. If I don't know, I can you know, forward them to the relevant brother. You know, relevant elder or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, from my side of things as a labourer in the street, man, I've got a labour.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a saying in the world, perfect is the enemy of good.
Mm.
You know, one can try and make something perfect so much that nothing happens.
Yeah.
Whereas good was good enough.
Yeah.
You know? You said laborers. One sec, let's grab this. This is Matthew 9 and 37 says, then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
right? And it's a blessing, man. We all come into the truth, man. Like, you know, from the stories of the elders and apostles, you know, the great fall off that took place, you know, in the 2000s or whatever, right? And we're kind of some of these first fruits from this era, you know, coming into this thing, because laborers were needed. There's a lot of laborers left work. So fuck this. You know, we needed laborers, right? And we all come into the truth to be laborers, right? So that's what each one of us, every one of us is a laborer. So we're required to work. You know, we're required to produce something. You know, and like I said, everybody's got a different law, so that what you produce and what you can give to the body, you know, it is all dependent, right? But everybody should be making effort, all right?
It's like you made the effort to work for Esau.
Yeah.
Get up early in the morning.
You want that bread, right? You want that bread, right?
Bread. You got
Yeah.
work. You might have to take public transport. You might have to drive into work for an hour. It's got 8 hours of your day every single day.
Yeah.
But you're there and you're doing it because you want to get paid at the end of the month or the end of the week, whatever the case may be. And that's a lot of effort that you're putting in for the devil.
But you want to be safe too, right?
Right.
You know, it's like when you
So,
speak to them, I was thinking of the precept, slightly different, but sense in case of evil work is not executed speedily. In the case of Eve, you're missing days. You know, end of the month, you're losing until the end of the day. That punishment is quick. Whereas it's sort of like, you
the
know,
Lord delay is coming type thing.
yeah,
It's like, it's not happening now,
yeah,
you know?
it's not the back end. It means
It's like, time. You don't know how much time you've got. There's no point paying that game. You know, because you might think that, but we know the Lord sees and knows everything. So when you start putting in the work a week before the Lord comes, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know you. Lord, it's good to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did this and did that. Did you? Don't be deceitful. You're fucking around for most of the time. You know? Well, now you want to put in this effort when you didn't give a shit before. You thought this was a joke. You know, that's different from brothers that come in you know, in the 11th hour and didn't, you know, they haven't got much work. That's a whole different situation. But brothers that have been called to labor from the time they're called in. You know, it's like taking your hand off the towel type. It's almost, you're almost there. You're almost taking your hand off the towel. Like, you can wait. You know? Or you can wait outside when the chariots come. You know? You want to grab that? Yeah, Rob, sure.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 from the top. Yeah, we made a video on this before. From the top, and there's the subtitle, the King James says, be strong, and the T says,
Be strong. Because we have to be. I know we feel tired and weak and that, but we have to be strong. Right? We have to be strong. Fight that fight. You know?
And the NOT, the subtitle is a good soldier for Yahweh Mashiach. Verse 1, it says, thou, therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahweh Mashiach, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also.
Right? So the whole purpose is that you learn, you get raised up so you can teach others. Well, if you get raised up now, you know the scriptures, you know, but you ain't trying to teach others and do what you're supposed to do. Then what you did?
You love me, feed me, sheep.
Exactly that. That is the whole point of learning this truth, so we can all teach others. Yeah, you know, we're in it to be saved and all these different types of things, but you've been given a task to do. Right? And if you ain't doing the task, you ain't going to be saved. So you are kind of, you know, think about the whole bigger picture. You know? Yep.
Verse 3. Now therefore, endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Mashiach.
Sufferings, basically. And yeah, brothers are suffering, man. Brother, we took the Bible down fucking time. But we're just tired. We're sick of this place, man. You know, but that doesn't give us the excuse or the reason not to be working. You know? And I was speaking to brother earlier, it's like, we're expected to sacrifice things for this truth. Right? But it's kind of looking like, you know, people are not wanting to make no sacrifices, or they're sacrificing the word so they can do the things that they need to, you know, to take it to manage the world. You know, and so the word takes the hit. You know, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, it's like all the word around everything else. The way everything's supposed to be around the word. You know, and I feel that's kind of like what's happening with certain brothers out there. You know,
Look into hardness.
Mhm.
Greek word is a kakopafeo, outline of biblical usage, to suffer, endure evils, hardships, troubles, to be afflicted.
Mhm.
Also says to undergo hardships, be afflicted, endure afflictions, hardness, suffer, trouble.
right?
So back to verse 4 says, verse 3 says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Right. So when the world is distracting you, you know, you've got issues with work, you've got issues with, you know, family members you might still be in contact with, and these different types of things, the woman, because these are all elements of the world at the end of the day that Satan is actively using as avenues to get at you. It's just the truth, man. And I don't want to sound fucking, you know, cold, but if that's becoming too much of a weight, it's like you got to shed some of that weight. You know, it's exactly what they do when you know boats are sinking or whatever. They have to shed the load. You know, it doesn't matter what the fuck's in it. That might be my prized possession, but it has to go. Because we have to stay afloat for at least a little while longer to get to port or whatever. It's the same kind of concept, man. If these things are dragging you down, you have to kind of figure out a way to kind of shed some of that load.
You know, I was former, because it's funny you even went to that whole port example, because I was thinking about, you know, I was reading the piece, thinking about like sailors, like for instance, what's happening with the USS Lincoln or whatever. But so normally it's like they're on a tour and they're on the ship. But every now and then they'll come out, you know, maybe go to a whorehouse, maybe go to a bar, and then they're back on the ship. But I forgot the technical name for that, but that port call is a temporary thing. They're still on mission. It's like they go out, do what they need to do, and then they're back on job. You know, but the main thing is they're on job.
Yeah, and that's it. We have to be on the job for this first and foremost. No one's saying you can't take care of certain family issues and all these different types of things, but it can't come to a state where it's taking over your life type, you know, taking over your life, taking over, you know, your time in this truth. It can't be allowed to do those things.
This is Proverbs 25 and 28. He that have no rule over his spirit is like a city that is broken down and about rules. You know, speaking about self-mastery, and knowing yourself. A big part of this faith is knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths, and knowing your weaknesses, and striving on a daily basis to improve your weaknesses. Like, you know that if you wake up and you start scrolling on your off day, you're gonna have an unproductive day.
And I do it.
Same.
I do it. I do it. You know what I mean? I always say it. I have those days. I have those days. You know, but I have to do something about that. I can't just, you know, maybe I lose a day. Maybe I scavenge some time to do a video at the end of the day. Wherever it is, like I try and make sure that I try and keep up with what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, something else might have to suffer because I'll do this for an hour. So now I ain't gonna do the other thing I'm gonna do. You know, even though I can't do, you know, even if it's gym. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing, like we're getting old, you know, we need to try and keep in shape, man. So I take time to go to the gym. I'd rather I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of tired of that too. You know, but if I don't, I'm just gonna break down. I know it, right? But even I know how important it is to kind of work out for me is like if I fuck up my day for doing some other stupidness, then maybe Jim has to take the hit today. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what I have to do today to keep up with the schedule or what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to make those decisions, man. You know, it is what it is. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
1 Peter 2:11, it says, "Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify the Most High in the day of visitation." So yeah, it's even whilst it's that contention with those fleshly lusts is the nature of the flesh. The creature was made subject to vanity, so it's just going to be a fight until it's going to be the fight until we're given those new bodies.
So endure to the end, right?
Yeah.
It don't stop. It don't fucking stop, man. You get brief moments of the air.
Yeah. You gotta tame the flesh. Like I used to see, people especially they tame lions, they tame the horse, you make it controllable. So when you can manage it, you can control it, and then you can, do what you gotta do basically. You have to tame the flesh, you have to be able to tame your own flesh. And when you go out, it's the same, bro. Yeah.
I got one more as well.
Yeah, you got that. We got something.
Galatians 5:16 says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh."
So that's what you should focus on. Keep your mind single, all that type of stuff. That's all about moving in the spirit. So if you can focus on that, that'll serve you well. Like I said, if all your time and energy has been taken up by things in the world, that's not gonna. It's not gonna. It ain't gonna end well. It ain't gonna end well, man.
It says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I told you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High."
Right. So these are scriptures that brothers have read. And there's some things are obvious, that we know of. But I think the day-to-day living of men in the Lord is a bit maybe obscure to some brothers. What is expected of them on a daily kind of basis, because we don't get to see the daily life of Apostle Paul. We don't get that story. We don't get to have his diary to see what he did. I ate toast for breakfast, and you don't see none of that.
I went to the riverbank.
Yes, we don't get to see none of that. So there's things we have to kind of extrapolate from the scriptures and how we're meant to conduct ourselves. We have the elders and apostles who show us the way in terms of like work ethic, and then give us wisdom in terms of things you might want to not do in the world. Certain places you might not want to go to, and even though these are not like necessarily they're not orders, it's just wisdom. Right? Use it appropriately. Right? It doesn't, not one shoe fits all type thing. It's dependent, right? Some brothers can't deal with certain things and whatever. So some things might not be good for certain brothers. Others, it's not such a bad thing. So we can't look upon each other and say, well, he can do this and he can do that. Why can't I do this? And I should be doing this too. Yeah, but you might just bug out. In a particular situation or whatever. So we can't look at things like that. You should just concentrate on what you need to do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing in the sense of like, because as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of the work and all this kind of stuff, don't worry about them. Worry about yourself, man, because he ain't gonna save you. Right? It's your faith in your works that's gonna save you. Right? And I mentioned the duty of things, man, because every different levels, man, there's different responsibilities. You got rank or that kind of business. There's different responsibilities you got, or at least it's supposed to be. Right? Some people just take the titles and just think, I'm lording over people and they give them commands and all that kind of stuff. But there's levels of responsibility and duties that you now have to perform. And I'm, for myself, I'm just trying to figure all that stuff out. How can I be the most productive in the role that I'm in? How can I be best used to the body? Right? Because you should be meditating on these types of things if you're right. Everybody's supposed to look after one another, even at the lowest level. So how much more as you go up? So these things I've been meditating on recently. And this is why I decided to do the video, looking about it. What's the best side?
Yeah, so it's the Philippians 2 and 12. I'll read 12 in the KJV, but I like 13 in the NLT. Says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And verse 13 in the NLT says, for the Most High is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him. Yeah.
I say we're not here to please ourselves and to do what we want to do in terms of the thing that satisfies us. It's not about that. But I think certain brothers maybe cited that, and they just want to see comfort and these types of things. But if you're here to work, there's no way you're going to go into Esau's work and just not clock in. You know what I mean? You ain't going to do that, or you should have. You're here, you're supposed to be here for the whole day, and you're missing for 7 hours. You're not going to do that because you ain't get fucking paid. You're going to get sacked and things like this. So you probably can't go missing, man. Yeah, there's work to be done. Right? Can I go right to finish this? No.
It's back in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Right? Like I said, it's easy. It's sucked into certain things, certain situations that are going on or whatever, and it's distracted. It's easily done. But Satan knows this. Right? It's easy for Satan to use. Right? We have to be mindful, but don't get too caught up in all it. Yeah.
And it says that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier.
Because that's what we're here to do first and foremost. To do the will of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And like I said, it sounds cold, but that's always been the truth. The scriptures have always said that. It hasn't. I'm not saying nothing. The scripture hasn't really kind of laid out for us already. But like I say, the longer time, brothers have been in the truth. Things don't seem as I don't use the word not as difficult, but you become what's the word, like, yeah,
Disgruntled.
not discouraged. You come used to the level of the hell you catch.
Acclimatized.
Yeah, acclimatized to what's going on, and it's like you think this is normal now, but you're meant to be pushing on. You're meant to be pushing on. So these things you're allowed into your life, and but you've been doing it in a particular type of way, that actually become normal, but it's still holding you back though. And you just got used to moving like this. Yeah. The work rate you're probably you just got used to moving like that. But I say I don't want to be a dickhead, but some people they're doing enough. It's true.
It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about pushing Yahweh, pushing Yahweh Shai. If you ain't doing that, you forgot why you're in the truth, why you were called, why you go out there on the highways and the byways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is a time where in the next few months we could not be going out there on the highways and the byways.
Yeah.
This is the last of the last times of the street ministry.
And then you consider this as well, because I said I was speaking on weaker brothers that don't do enough, man. The truth is we're not doing enough. None of us are.
Yeah.
The scripture tells us that we could always do more. Right? But from what I'm seeing with certain channels and stuff like that, there's a sharp drop off with certain brothers, and that can't be allowed, in reality.
That's fine.
No, that's it. That's cool. Yeah, following up.
This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 1. And it says here in the title, put on the new self. Now it says, if you then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. So we're supposed to set our affection, our interest on things concerning the future to come, the kingdom of heaven, laboring to get into that kingdom, setting up your treasures, in heaven, man. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Spiritual treasures. Because we're going to need to withdraw from that spiritual account in times of trouble, in times of calamity, chaos upon the earth that's coming in these last days. Now it says, verse 3, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in Yahweh. So we're dead to this world. Literally, we're dead to this world. So anything that entertains the people of the world, yeah, you get your downtime, you might do things here and there, but the main purpose of us being here is to preach Yahweh Shai and preach the kingdom to come. That's our job. That's why we're here. That's why we're breathing. Yep. That's why we're here. No other purpose. You might have a family, you might have children, you might have a woman, you might have to, parents and shit. But at the end of the day, anyone outside of Yahweh Shai and anyone that don't believe in Yahweh Shai is ultimately the enemy anyway. So then people might not make it. Yeah. We pray they do. We pray you won't make some children, so on and so forth. But they might not.
And that's it. No one's saying, as I know, there's been civil wars in the past that have taken extreme things of, positions in the scriptures. Like, dashing away their family and their kids and all that stupidness, man. No one's ever told you to do any of that stuff. And none of us brothers have. So we're examples for all of that, right? But it's just having understanding, man, the reality of the situation. These things that we have are not pluses in the work. They're not positives in the work. They're things that are going to slow you down. It's just the truth. It sounds cold, but it's just the truth. But you have to find a way to manage that. But that's your lot. That's what you've got to manage, to deal with, right? But every time it becomes toxic to you,
Distraction.
you have to kind of hate it. You got to cut it off. You probably get that, probably shot. Because that's exactly what it is. Right? If it's affecting you that much and you cannot perform the task given to you, that is unfruitful. And you've got to do what you got to do. That's the problem.
Even though you say, that point about, what was it, Yahweh Shai? He healed Peter's wife's mother from the demon, or she was plagued with the illness or something like that. And so it's like, I said, Peter, how do I? That's literally like last year. I think that's last year.
These men were out of the back. Because what they say, those that have wives, VIP as a man. It's not that man never saw her. Yeah. But it's like, she was alone quite a lot. Well, you know what I mean? Because man was that. That shit, that shit too.
If she's meant to be around you, she would just accept it over time. Yeah. It is what it is. She'll get tired of keep saying it, she'll leave or she'll stay.
Well, that's part of her fight. That's part of her fight.
Women are more staunch back then anyway. But they're actually keen into their husband. There was not this society that we've got today where man just leave you and go jump with another guy next week. They ain't like that.
But the issue is there because it's like on that point, just once again the water the Lord has had me have. Like I've observed men that were building companies, big companies, and they were never out. Yeah. But their woman knew because she could see the lifestyles kind of changing, the restaurants are. So it's like, okay, cool. She was like, I ain't happy with it, but I'm getting the benefits. Yeah. But it's like for us, that's where it's like the vision comes in too. We have vision.
Well, yes, vision. You ain't telling your woman about the treasures in heaven. She might be one of them ladies. We'll see.
Well, even if she is, she's a woman. Even if she is, because I said, you like that. Look, man, straight up blues, man. And then the bitch will ask you, so next year, can we go to St. Lucia? But
the point I was just trying to make on that is it's like that's what Scripture says, where there is no vision, the people perish. For us, we have this spirit vision, but it's like because in that situation with the carnal money, the woman could see it, so she understood the quote sacrifice that she had to make.
Yeah.
Right. And then the thing is, like, because I think the elders say it a lot. I think Elias Romans says it a lot. It's like the being the wife of a prophet, right? It ain't always gonna be easy. A lot of time it ain't gonna be easy. But in the same way, these women, they want a guy that's rich in this world. But being a wife to him ain't easy either.
Because you can imagine, if we got to be like they haven't got any wives, and they've got to be like their widows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to kind of operate on their own.
Yeah.
That's how it has to kind of be. And I know obviously there was things set up for the widows and these things that needed help. But it wasn't the job of the men, the group teaching them to be hanging around like that. They have to go do the ministry, man.
Yeah.
That was given to other guys that were around in the churches or whatever to deal with these widows and stuff like that. But the main apostles, they weren't sitting around. You know, they had a different role, a different responsibility, a different duty to hold. And that's what we have to kind of look at it, man. We're not normal Israelites. We ain't. A normal Israelite people live a day-to-day life. You know, go do some farming. You know what I mean? Go do whatever. We can't do that.
It makes me think of, not with the negative connotation, but it makes me think of military wives, where it's like the women,
exactly.
where it's like, dad's gonna come back after the tour. Send the letter.
He's newborn. You know, when you left, when you come back, it's 4. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's got another newborn. But you know, it's interesting. You mentioned about, you know what I mean, the word what's it called apostle, because the word apostle to be sent forth, which is a physical kind of action.
Yeah.
So even being an apostle, which we say, we have, of course, we have our apostles and elders, they're apostles, but by just what we do, we're apostles like in our actions in regard to our duty of the work, because we've been all sent forth to, preach. I ain't saying we call yourself apostles, but the point is the word by nature gives a point on action. Meaning, like you're working.
Sure. For some more. And verse 3: For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in Yahweh. When Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall you also appear with him in glory. So when Yahweh shall returns, that's when our true life begins. That's right. In the kingdom. That's when we're really going to experience life. Like what the Apostle Bible says, this ain't living. The air that we breathe is contaminated, the water is fucked up, the women are fucked, jacked up in the mind. This place is hell.
Bro, I'll get to work now outside.
Bro, anxiety Sunday night, like Sunday afternoon.
It's just an email and word. It's like,
And like me personally, I haven't really got a particular strenuous job. It's just like I'm just tired of going to the plantation and working for you. So annoying that this is gonna be a bad dream.
it's just,
This is just bullshit that we got to deal with. You know what I mean?
when you're tired, disappointed.
Acted and like,
That ringing, that teeth for sure. 10 times.
cheekbones snapping.
You're tired, disappointed, man.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Alright, so I was going to get this real quick. It says, Proverbs 14:13, even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful. And the end of that mirth is heaviness.
As long as we can be, free and open and just relax a bit, we'll bust some jokes and it's real. It's real. I ain't got to joke about with some bacon about some stupidness. You know what I mean? And do the pretend laugh. Oh yeah. What I think about the other day, something strange. I'm like, I couldn't even entertain it. But I'm like, I just looked at him. He goes, "Oh, put it Sunday Friday in my head." I was like, okay. I'm like, what the fuck is this weirdo, bro? That's a weird. But yeah, it's just tired, man. It's tired of this place.
And the reason I brought that up is it's like, even in the things that we do in our downtime, so there's no enjoyment in it. There's no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool, yeah, we won the league, and then now it's like,
but I get it. I just want to switch off. I just want to switch off from everything.
Yeah.
Bro, it's nice, isn't it? Like your head's just full of shit. It's like, oh man, I just want to calm down. It's like, man. But like I say, we got work to do, bro. It's not as simple as it. Well, hey, conk out after you've done the work, innit? You know, I know it's hard. You better come home and work, tired, or whatever. But look, 20 minutes ain't much. Yeah, 20 minutes. You know, it ain't got to be no super deep thing. Just let it be defined. You know, and then you can conk out, innit? Conk out.
Look, even like, and the things I say, it's like I even implement it myself. But so there's some things that some people do where it's like they know by the end of the day after work they're slumped, so they switch it around. They do things in the morning.
Yeah. So you have to rearrange everything depending on what that kind of shift pattern I'm working or whatever. It helps. You know?
It's kind of, remember when we touched that, we went up, you might wake up and scroll. You might find out if you do the hardest things at the start of the day, whether it's your reading or your video or your push-ups or whatever you do, you might find that you actually get more like done, like a buzz, like a sense of achievement than to do
profitable later.
Yeah, because it's like after the day is done, like I'm sure brothers have kind of had that feeling of when you woke up, you just read the scriptures, you watch the video, and it's like, bro, it's only 1:30. I've already done my video. Yeah, wow, I've got the rest of the day, you know what I mean?
It's righteous dopamine.
Yeah, exactly. No, because it's like, the thing is, with like labor, is when you look into like things like the power of, habits, doing the habits, it's like even, the scripture compares the truth to like working out and training and exercising. It's like a lot of guys who get the best results in the gym or in any kind of discipline are guys that like it's just a sense of duty. It's like I'm not doing it just because I feel like I feel to. I do it when I don't feel to. I do it when I feel to. I do it because I have to.
Well, was it you said, man? You said something similar to that, right? He's talking about motivation and discipline, the difference. Like
Discipline is better.
because man could lose motivation.
Yeah.
So I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated, but I've got discipline. I have to do it. I have to do this.
You literally have to you have to approach the work like your spiritual well-being depends on it, because it does.
It does.
You know what I mean? Your life actually depends on it, because when shit is the fan, you ain't got no hedge, no covering. You're just out there. You know the spirit ain't with you. You're gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is just do the work.
Yeah.
Preach Yahweh's coming, herald him in. That's our job.
But you know what? It sounds like such a simple task.
Right.
But brothers, finding out it's not as easy as it sounded.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people end up falling out, because it's too much. Some brothers can't hack it, man. But this is why you read all the other scriptures about being a soldier. A soldier's life ain't fucking cool,
It's interesting said, because I was going to mention that point a soldier. It's like a soldier is an individual part of an army. So everyone has their individual responsibility. That's it. Yeah. And it made me think about taxi driver. The phrase "God's lonely man," because it's like you know on this path. We're all in this journey, but we've all got our own individual path. You can't say me, I can't say you. But we all work together as a unit. But we have our individual, and sometimes on the journey, the guy next to you might fall off. The guy might die, wherever it is. Like as we're at war, and we're obviously at a spiritual war, and it's like this is why we have to seek our own salvation with fear and trembling. And it's like as much as you might care about a man who's next to you, you know that he's got his own walk, and so do you. I have a precept. First Corinthians 9. I'm not sure if anyone brought this out earlier. I'm going to read it in New Living though. It says, 1 Corinthians 9:24. Don't you realize that in a race everyone runs? 2 Corinthians 2. Yeah. It says, don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step. And you know what's interesting is because like you only see like boxers in training camp. Like there's a man like that's like, let's say he's not like a boxer that ain't motivated, he's just like going through emotions. But it's like even though they're both great boxers, it's like, you know, when you see the videos of like of Spencer's training camp and Bud, when Spence and Bud fought, Spencer's all the man, he with the chains and Tank Davis and shit, with fucking Adrian Broner. But Bud is just like, look, man, I'm gonna die to win. I have to die to win. Like, I'm gonna die but to win. Like that's how much you want it. And it's, so that's the point here. It says that you run with purpose. Because it's like, you know, it's like, you know, if you go to a gym and Sam to work out, you ever see people in the gym? They're just in the gym, yo, the girls just on their phone, on the bicycle, doing 2 steps and then stop, selfie, and then you know, yeah, it's like, no, you have to walk with a purpose to actually step with purpose and walk with faith. You know what I mean? So it says, if I keep going, it's what was I? It says, so I run with purpose in every step. I'm not just shadow boxing, you know, like, because you know, like shadow boxing, there's different like tiers to it. There's some that might just be going through the motions, but there's some you can visualize their opponent, right? Like barking. Yeah. You know, like
Man's get actually whooped.
yeah. It's like you're throwing them punches. Like I'm trying to land this. Like okay, I'm
full speed, full power.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's like, you know, and that example is like it's all throughout sport. Like, I mean, even, you know, a club that we some brothers like that recently won the league, their manager, I remember there was a documentary showing the journey, right? And then there was a section where there was in training and they were laughing in training. And he got pissed off. He said, look, play training as if you're playing a game. Right? Hey, stop all the fucking laughing.
Every game's a final.
And play like every game's a final. So it says, so I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I might myself be disqualified. Which is not, you know, that's not what we want.
You know, that's why that goes into study. That's study to show thyself approved, right? Because you got to exercise your brain, right? You have to understand the scriptures, the breakdowns, and that. And I'd say, as I'm getting old, my brain's fried, man. There's things like my brain ain't connecting as much as it used to. But I know, you know, I'll put in work, you know, to understand these things. And I have like, you know, I remember most things, but it's like, oh, where is that again? Or you know, things like that. And
Like, it's, a lot of it, once again, is that this technology that he sort of pushed, right? He's probably sent me something as a paper on like these short form videos, right? And how that just fries your brain. It was like a proper, you know, it was going deep. But once again, so that's why I think it's Meta there in court right now, class action lawsuit for making these hella addictive, you know, these absolutely hella addictive. You know, because it's like nowadays you might open up Instagram, you ain't been on in a while, and then you can't even see easily the people you actually know. It's just like bare randos, but they design it that way to keep you there because, you know, when they're there, and this is the scripture talk about that love of money, right? I mean, with Esau, it's 2 things: the love of money, but also he wants to destroy people. Because when it is like when they're in that boardroom, right, they talk about a few metrics: weekly active users, monthly active users, average session length, and everything. And the higher those numbers are, the more profitable the company is viewed as, right? But once again, it's these things. He understands that it's frying people's brains, frying attention spans, right? You know, that's why these young children, man, they got no hope.
Yeah. Another point I was thinking about is like with everything in life, whether it's work or whatever it is, whatever you put in your vibe into, them the daily kind of inputs, It adds up. Like if you're talking about trying to be like a year from now, I'm trying to be a lean hunk. I'm trying to be ripped. And a year later, you're fat. Well, obviously, you be in the cards every day. Like, it's not happening, is it? But then
I told myself I'd be about 30.
That's still working. You know what I mean? And it's that's the harsh truth of discipline. It's either you pay the price of discipline, or you pay the price of regret in the failure. Like, I failed. You know what I mean? And it's like the ultimate discipline is this word, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's why I said my body exercise probably little for the prophets, but really
Not as much as
the spiritual. Because it's like let's say you're a dude, you've been in this for 10 years, you can't say the Hebrew fucking alphabet. But you can't hide from that. No. I don't know the Hebrew.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I swear it's, but you didn't read it. You had time to read it before the podcast. It's like,
you know, dude making sure he's sat behind like the biggest brother in camp. He's not trying to get a picture read. You know? And that's not how you want to be. You know? Remember school. Remember when it came to doing, exams. You know, everyone knows that guy in the class. Like, yo, have you always be able to read the book? There's like one that's like, yeah, man, I read the book. Yeah, I took notes, everything. I could read it from back to front. And then there's another dude like, I want to do. Oh yeah. And then there's another dude that's like, boy, that guy had no confidence in himself because he didn't do the work. He didn't read nothing. He read that morning, too late.
A little bit more here. Okay, Colossians the 3rd chapter. I'll read this one in the NLT. It says, "So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you." I go back to a video I made 3-4 weeks ago. Killed the old man, bury the old man before the old man buried.
Yeah, I see it.
But that's what we all got to do.
Yeah.
Bury that old man. Because he's dead, he's lurking. You know,
He wants out.
He wants to come out fully. You know?
Scheming.
He don't want to see us anymore. He just wants to
We just slip. It's me.
Exactly. So we gotta tame that flesh. Bury that old man before he buries us.
Yeah.
It's possible. It will happen.
Yeah, you're giving us free space, enough room. Yeah.
Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshipping the things of this world.
And, you can say brothers that work too much, man. You know, brothers doing all the hours possible. But then they complain when you get in on them because the videos are not getting done. What do you expect? You know, oh, I'm just so tired. Well, yeah, what do you expect? Yeah, I know some brothers need a certain amount of money to pay their rent and to get food and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what acceptable, isn't it? But don't tell me that you're gonna buy, you're gonna buy, chains and all this kind of stuff. And you ain't got the money like that, bro. But it's like because you want them things. It's like everything else is gonna be sacrificed for those things. And that shouldn't be the case, man. Like, you shouldn't be burning yourself out just so you can grab, get some carnal pleasure. Everyone.
In the which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. The things that you used to do in the world, the characteristics that you used to have in the world. That should be gone when you become, a newborn babe in Yahushua, man. Get rid of that old man and embrace, who you're supposed to be in Yahushua, in righteousness, man. That's it on that one.
Cool. I'm gonna grab this quick. Because you can grab the second mission just quick. It's to Mark 4. I'm just gonna get the point on what we're saying. Verse 19 is the parable of the seeds, right? Let me Let me read verse 14, right? So the soul soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and take away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who when they have heard the word immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. But when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And we've seen that all the time. Brothers have got offended because the walk is too hard, and they start blaming the truth for everything that's going wrong. But things were fucking going right before you came in the truth either, man. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I always think about it. You be just walking, you be seeing a guy getting blasted by his woman. And then it's like there's a geezer in the world. But then like
The same thing's happening.
yeah, the guy will come in the truth. Yeah, bro, no, I've got issues with my wife. Like, bro, you would have had issues with her in the world. At least now you understand why. Like Satan's writing that.
But it's like, oh, but I can't earn no money. You know, you just guys make a base. You go, I couldn't catch that girl because she doesn't know Hebrew. Like, she don't like no Hebrew. We're like, no, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, like the kingdom's got mad treasures, you know, mad glory in the kingdom. And you're gonna complain about some dirty bits that you just, saw on the side road. Yeah. Come on, man.
The C-section star.
Oh, really? What did that one?
C-section, well, at least she had the baby. That's going to be killing that baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
The graveyard down there. It's the money.
Yeah.
Man, you be stuck because I love watching comedy, innit? No, I watch everything, innit? It's like male comedian, female comedians, whatever. But whenever that abortion topic comes up in the American comedy,
It's sad.
no, bro, they wait. They cheer it on, and it'll be loud cheers as well. I'll be watching. I'm like, damn, this is a demonic ass place, man. And then these are the women that as you be like, oh, I wanna. She's got a graveyard, bro. She's got bodies on.
Just their spirits just talking.
Fucking jealous.
So the spirits is converging like so you're trying to hit, you can't even get hard like you. Like, that's for me.
Strangled.
There was that spirit. Look, if I was you, just
I'm passing here.
What was that?
No. Get out! It's on the place for real.
Oh man, that's tough.
Verse 18, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, right? And the cares of this world, you're slowly getting dragged back in with whatever issues or situations you've got going on. You're slowly getting dragged back into shit that you don't really need to be entertained like that on that level anyway. Right? That's taking you from doing your duty. All right. So the cares of this world, and the deceitful of riches, oh, I just want to make money, man. The money demon, right? And the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. Right? As I said, some brothers are becoming unfruitful, for various different reasons, that have to be looked at, and on that note, grab that for me as well. Yeah.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. It says, examine yourselves, whether you be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? How that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates.
That's right. We have to make sure that we're not becoming unfruitful or becoming reprobate, acting, like the old man again. These types of things you have to be really aware of, conscious of. Remember why you came in the truth, why he was given the spirit. Right? Because this wasn't down to any of us. He was given the spirit. Right? He was given a task to do. So we have to remember why we're even here in the first place. Yep.
Don't get too caught up in your own hell as well. Yeah. Because it's all about Yahushua and what he went through. You didn't sweat great drops of blood in the Garden of Gethsemane. You didn't have the type of anxiety that Yahushua was going through. Having all of them sins or donation upon you at that one time. You didn't go through any of that, man. Yeah, you're in hell. We go through trauma. pain and unfortunate situations, but it's not touching what you have.
I was just to say about our suffering is nothing compared to the glory that we're going to receive.
So like,
You can't be caught up like that.
It says you have not resisted unto blood, struck you know what I mean, fighting against sin.
I'll bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Anything that happens to us, just take it as, like you say, what do you say, that charge it.
That's it, yeah.
Charge it. No, it is what it is. I deserve it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
The Lord's in good.
Exactly.
Deserve it and more, like, really.
Exactly. So, we're talking fighting it. Fighting through it. Any brothers, any closing scriptures, anything like that?
Can I read you the NLT book?
Yeah.
Saying 2 Corinthians chapter 30, verse 5, NLT, it says, examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. Surely you know that Yahweh Mashiach is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith.
Yeah. So you have to look at, so what's our purpose? Why are we here? What am I supposed to be doing? Because obviously other stuff to do. We all know this. It's like, what are you supposed to do in this ministry? What rank do you hold? What are you supposed to be providing for the body, for your brothers? Things like this. There's more to it than just doing videos. As much as this is what I'm kind of speaking about in regards to productivity and stuff like that, there's more to it than just doing videos. But your faith, your works is part of your faith. And if you're showing me that your work is dwindling down, to me tells me your faith is dwindling too. So it is what it is, man. It's just an indicator at the end of the day. But it's not a good one.
The apostles warned, just leave. Really deep down. Those I had to keep getting on you, just leave. That's obviously you're scared of it, but
I'm trying to be compassionate, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be compassionate, bro.
It really is that deep.
But you can only warn somebody a certain amount of times. This is it, you can only warn someone a certain amount of time. And it's like, then they get to hear it. What these types of things, bro, you can go in it.
Right.
The Lord will favors.
Yeah, it's either you're gonna leave on your own accord, or the Spirit will have you just,
March
get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read this again if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Luke 22 and verse 31. So I didn't read the second part. And the Lord said unto Simon Peter, let me read that again. And the Lord said, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
So, yeah. My brethren, man. It's like, that's what he shows before. Even like I remember when the elder, he spoke about he spoke about that sluggish spirit. That's just it seemed to be encompassing. He was like, yeah, but we've got to fight it.
Yeah.
And then just hearing that it's because scripture speak about that, no temptation above that which is common. It's like everyone is going through something like that. And just there is that weird. It's kind of weird, but it's like, oh yeah, someone's catching hell too. It's that weird, like,
but you should know it's a given.
Yeah,
everyone's catching hell in their own different ways and whatever. It ain't just you.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's something going on in the spirit. Brothers is feeling this way.
Yeah.
And it's it's having effects on some brothers more than others. So we have to be mindful of that. And just make sure that they understand that they're in a fight.
Yeah.
People forget you're in a fight.
You have to fight.
I'm not doing nothing special. Like, if I do more than another guy, I'm not doing nothing special. I just know I'm in contention. Because if I don't fight, I'm gonna pull back. I'm obviously gonna just not do anything. But I understand, man, but I don't want to do something but I need to push.
Yeah.
I need to push,
A righteous man falleth for getting back up. That's part of the fight. I think one of the famous fights, man, you know what I'm talking about.
Which runners?
Yeah, that. See this brother. But like, he just like, he wasn't losing. He wasn't like, he was losing, but he wasn't losing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna fight. We are dying here today. We're gonna go to death. And guess what? He overcame his weaknesses in the fight and he came back and won it. One of the best motivational fight ever. Period. Boxing. Bro.
It's funny, I saw a clip a few months ago while I was doing school, and funny enough, an Asian brother came up. You know, he's been doing a lot of these live streams with the cloud. Right, he told him while he was sparring, he's like, look, even when you're tired, make sure you do everything right. And he just got serious for that one moment. Seriously, even when you're tired, make sure you do everything right. Like, keep your phone, make sure you know what you're doing. Even when you're tired, and he stressed it. He just came out of the 40 for like 10 seconds, and he went back into the that was spiritual.
That's good.
But this is why the difference between like boxers that have grown up being boxers and boxers that kind of start late. They don't have that mindset. It's not built in them like that. From young. And when they get tired, they make all kind of sloppy mistakes. The form's gone. You know, when you've been raised up from young that way, it's just natural to you. Even when you're tired, you're still keeping it. You know.
Because we're all tired. Everyone make sure you know it's right. I can't believe I'm quoting this guy. Hey, it's true.
Bones in the meat. Meet the bones, brother. You know. This brother's got anything else? Now I shall close up on this one. Then John 21 and verse 16. Sorry, verse 15. So when they had dined, Yahweh said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? And this is, do you love Yahweh more than you love life? Real question, you know. He saith unto me, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. He saith unto him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. He saith unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. How should I say unto him, Feed my sheep? Right? That is the task we've been given to do. Right? Let's not forget that. This is about us and our feelings and how we feel. Right? We're here with a task and a duty to perform. You know, regardless of how you feel. And I say that, you know, there's going to be dips and forms. Yeah, sure, of course it will be. But you should be hitting some type of minimum, man. You know, some consistent minimum. You know, as opposed to, I want to do a video this week. If it happens, it happens. No, that should be going on. If it happens, no, you should be forcing it. If you need to get in the spirit. You know, you need to get in the spirit. I'm not in the spirit. I was going to wait until the spirit hits me. All right, yeah, fine. But if you find that you ain't doing no work 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the line, bro, you're out of here, bro. What's the point? Yeah, what's the point? You know, those turn up and say, what the fuck you been doing? Oh, well, you know, I wasn't in the spirit. All right, but what did I tell you though? Feed my sheep. Man can't even, you know, not even doing that. So, you know, that's the you know, the message of the video really that I wanted to put out there for brothers that need it. You know, let's say this is not every brother's case, but brothers that are in this situation, it's for them. You know, to you know, light a fire under their house, you know what I mean, and get working, you know. So, you know, with that, we're gonna say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, you know, shine for Hashem, Dash. Again, double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS. Shalom, at this Pope X man. Shalom, man.